you want? No? Okay. Okay, so welcome to day 5 of Print 17. As I've been speaking with the people here, Printerverse is open for education and thought leadership. We don't ever close, so this is just another opportunity for us to share some of the amazing people in our intergalactic alliance of the Printerverse with you. This year we have, thank you so much for joining us. This year we have the largest alliance we've ever had. We have 28 exhibiting companies, well 27 and 2 sides. 2 sides doesn't exhibit, but they walk around. And everyone should know what 2 sides is. And big news, don't know if you guys heard, but Drupa announced that there will be a Printerverse at Drupa 2020. So all you international people or you Americans who want an opportunity to exhibit at Drupa but need some sort of conduit, hello, we are here. We will be broadcasting live all 11 days. I want to make sure that we have enough opportunity to get some of the little companies that never get a voice, never get a banner, can't afford anything. I want to kind of create an alliance so that there's a pool of money that we can help those people. And I think it's really important that these smaller technology companies, Print has to start looking into the technology companies. I was just talking to Mick from Print IQ about what I feel is the biggest missed opportunity here is any e-commerce vendors. People who have literally shopping cart solutions. Amazon just lost its patent on one-click buying on Tuesday, which means it's now open to the world. You can still license it from them, which is certainly the easier route to go, but if you want to take that technology and do something to it, it's open now, which means it's all over retail. I mean, it's everything's going to be mobile shopping cart. So that is kind of where we are. So, okay, who was here first? I forgot. You guys, right? Okay, docket manager. We're going to have 2 people from docket manager, but they'll show the microphone. Oh, Sandy, I need the docket. I need the alliance people need their table tents, please.
Thank you.
Very good. So welcome, docket manager. Also another MIS that has been getting lots of buzz. A lot of people have been talking or asking me questions about it. I think that the value proposition that's most attractive to them is that you were printers and you built the solution. This is what is the key thing that is tying them to you. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what docket manager does, and come at it from that angle about how you really understand what a printer goes through every day. Joe?
Go ahead. Okay. I'm Joe Kern. I'm the sales manager at Docket Manager. As Deborah said, we are an MIS solution. We're an integrated MIS and web-to-print solution. It's really exciting working for this company and seeing the software. I said something the other day, and someone turned it into a hashtag about how I wish that I was back in printing.
Make
printing
print
fun
great.
again.
Fun again. No, I TM'd it. We stole it.
So I said I wish I was a printer again, because with this software, it really would have the opportunity to make print fun again. If I was back in printing. But I've been in printing for over 30 years, and it's a great program for printers, and again, made by printers, and I think Mark will tell you that, probably a good 85 to 90% of our staff has worked in the printing industry, even the development staff, so we understand the needs and the wants of printers.
Thanks so much, Joe. And Joe, I just want to personally thank you for your dedication to Print Chat. Joe is a loyal print chatter. You come every week, and brings. Well, you also have brought a posse over the years, and you really do help us communicate the value of it. So thank you so much, Mark.
Real quick too, before Mark gets in, I want to thank Deborah and all the people in the Printerverse. That's another reason that print is fun for me is the ability to, it's so much fun to come into the Printerverse and see all the people who you chat with every week, finally put a face and meet them, and it's because of you, and heartfelt thanks goes out to you for all you do for the industry. It's just amazing.
Okay, great. Yes, okay, yeah, so my name is Mark Darling. Being in the print business for about 21 years, we developed the product over the years to, over the years to, solve the problems that everybody else goes through every day. We enjoy what we're doing. We have a great team. Like Joe was saying, we have a lot of print company or people that work for us in the print industry. So they understand print. So we go through things, we do it the first time, we do it the first time right, which works out really well.
What have you found over the years is the most common issue in a print shop when it comes to automation?
Go ahead.
So a lot of the problems is that I've found is they really just don't have a handle on what their shop does, what they're good at, okay, what they're good at, and what they're profitable with. They can say, I do every, we were talking the other day in one of the panels about the one-stop shop, and everybody says, yeah, I do everything, and I'll say, what are you good at? And they'll say everything, and I'll say, what are you profitable at? Everything, and I say, are you sure? And they really don't know, so it comes down to knowing what you're good, what you're profitable at, what makes you the most money, and also knowing what you're not as profitable at so that you can fine-tune it so you can become profitable. So I think that's one of the big things. We still talk to, I can't tell you how many people stop by our booth, larger companies who say, yeah, I'm doing estimating and our order writing in Microsoft Excel still. And it baffles my mind, bigger companies too. So I think that's one of the biggest things is they don't have a handle on really what they're doing.
Is there a way for people to figure that out though without getting your software, or can you help them figure it out and then show them how your software can help them overcome that problem?
Yeah, I think if you actually talk to the prospects out there and then ask them those key questions like, if you're doing, table tents, are you profitable with that table tent? How much did it cost you to produce it? How long did it take? And, show them or have them go through what it takes to find that number or find that productivity. And they see how difficult it is to get to that point, then you show them with the software how easy it is to get those numbers, especially in real time. Then, it's a good opportunity to show them that.
Thanks.
I think the biggest problem, the biggest problem we're finding is, every business, the margins have dropped. It doesn't matter. It's not just the printing business, it's every business. And I think you have to learn how to automate the process and, less touching and so forth. The biggest thing with our solution is we can take orders that come online, basically have them imposed, create a work order, set up the due date, impose it, and essentially go into directly to production. So it's really, you've got to get less hand touch on it, and you have to actually automate the whole process.
So why don't you tell people the value proposition of working with you, what kind of support they can expect before, during, and after purchase, and then let people know how to get in touch with you. Let's just talk to the people out there today.
Okay, I think the biggest thing we do is we actually do the system setup for them. So essentially when they come on board is we get into their system, we export everything we can out of it, and we actually get them train, use the system, but we basically do the work for them. The biggest struggle we're finding is, people are maxed out. We need to get into a solution that allows them to get a life again. And by the time they go through that process, they're always struggling. They go into the system, and they take sometimes years to get on it. Where a couple years ago, we took that equation right away, and basically, we haven't lost a customer yet. So we basically get them on board, and we keep them happy. Our support is different. We don't, we have a ticketing system, but you can always get a hold of us. The biggest problem we find is they get the system sold to you, and then, the sales guys run away, which, we allow them to go back. They can call me directly anytime they want. So it comes down to, we have happy customers, and what makes me happy is, the customers being happy, and they're giving them a life again. They enjoy print.
Can your system give me a life again? I would appreciate that.
We can talk,
Okay.
definitely.
Printerverse, this be up.
And I agree with Mark. I think the biggest thing, especially when people hear this, is when you're first setting up a system, the real difficult part is that people can't get through their mind is whether they're setting up a new MIS system or whether they're switching over from another one is just what a daunting task it's going to be. And as soon as you say, listen, we take that away, that dauntingness, we take it away, and we do that for you. We're still going to show you how to make the changes and train you efficiently how to do it. But then all of a sudden it becomes something easy to make that switch because they're realizing that it is going to be easier on them. And it's going to be a much, instead of a 6-8 month turnaround on launching a new MIS system, now you're down to maybe 2 months in getting it going.
So how can people get in touch with you? A website?
Our website is docketmanager.ca, or you can get us on Twitter @docketmanager. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn. Look us up and contact us.
Thank you guys so much. This is your first year in the Alliance. Yay! Thank you so much for your
First of hopefully many.
Yes, that makes me happy. People love the software. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And we're going to bring up Eagle, foil experts. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry.
We have to get a
panel.
picture.
Questions? Thank you, Jack. Thanks.
Thank you.
Right in the front. I liked it better when everyone had theirs and never hands. Oh, there you go. No. Oh, thank you so much.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Here you go.
Here you go. Systems. The boy Alicia. Michael cracks up when he tells me that. He goes, look what she calls me, the boy Alicia.
Welcome, everybody. You might not recognize the woman next to me because you've been in a silver foil wig every time I saw you. So thanks for coming as yourself today. Ellen Manning, specialty print. Oh, well, first of all, tell everybody what the Foil Experts is, what Eagle Systems is, and why you call yourselves the Foil Experts.
Well, Eagle Systems is a manufacturer of foiling equipment. That is all we do. We specialize in hot foil stamping, and lately it's been cold foil, inline, all the way. So we are...
What is cold foil?
Cold foil is an application of foil that is done on an offset press with our equipment, and it allows the printer to lay the foil on the substrate and then print over the foil with ink. So the foil is only silver. You change the color of the foil with ink. You can do any kind of pattern, any kind of color, and it allows the printer to actually create the color that the client wants without ordering a roll of foil in that color and waiting for it to come. It's there, it's automatically made by the printer, and it's done. When it's done in line, it's finished when it comes off the press. So years ago when people did foiling, they sent it out. It may have taken 2 or 3 days. You had to have dies. You had to order a foil. There were setup times, and then it came back. There might have been registration issues when you overprint it. This is perfect registration because it's done in line on your press, and it's finished at the end of the job, so your job could be over in 2 hours and into die cutting and then off to the customer for payment. That's not a bad thing.
I'm nodding in agreement because as you know, I worked in advertising for
Right.
25 plus years in some of the world's biggest advertising agencies, and foil meant time and money.
Right.
Period, end of story. And I just judged the Gold Ink Awards this summer, and I was there for every single day. And when it came to the foil, we took out our loops and we made sure that everything was, and it wasn't. It just always wasn't. Now, does a regular human out there look at a loop? No, but I'm paying for it as a print buyer. It's kind of my job to look for those things so I can say, hey, we got to work something out next time about this foil, or we got to work something out on this. I mean, it's my job to find those flaws. So that's awesome. Specialty, we also had a lot of specialty printing panels because it's definitely a trend. As far as let me say it's a trend, at least as far as the industry talk track of it. I didn't see it, as I mentioned in the panel yesterday, I didn't see it in the submissions for the Gold Ink Award. I didn't see a lot of specialty stuff. But I hear everybody talking about it now, which leads me to think I'm going to see it next time. So why do you think it's becoming so topical?
Well, everything evolves. Packaging evolves, and these companies are looking to offer something to their customers that hasn't been offered by somebody else, whether it be digital, whether it be foil, whatever it is, coatings. They're trying to make their packaging unique, because I think a lot of these brands might be giving out their files to several different companies to see what they can come up with. So cold foiling has allowed the printers to actually make more money, because there are no dyes and it's less time consuming to do the product. And there was just a test done by Clemson University. They did a white paper on it, and they wanted to see what attracts the buyer when they go shopping. So they had this store set up. They had definitely they had shelves with packaging on it, and they gave special glasses to the people walking down the aisle that had cameras in the side, so that they could see and record.
I want to do that.
They could see and record what the first thing they looked at. And they always looked at a foil package first. And if they touch it, 9 times out of 10, they're buying it. And that's what it was all about. How do you get that customer to pick up that package, feel it, look at it, and go, wow, I'll try it. Looks good to me. So,
Are there any substrate considerations when it comes to cold foil?
there used to be. It used to be only on coated stock, but we do something beyond what a normal machine manufacturer does. We do a lot of R&D on the process, and the process is key to the printer making money with this product. I mean, anyone can buy a printing press, or they could buy folder glue or whatever. You have to know how to use it. Using it is key. Because we do a lot of R&D on it, we have come up with a solution to actually put cold foil on uncoated stock. So now it has broadened the market of what you can do with this product. This was never done before. We can do it on plastic, we could do it on uncoated, we can do it on coated, thin paper, thick paper. I don't think there's really a substrate that we cannot do it, as long as the printing press can handle that substrate. We can put foil on it.
And as people in the industry know, as you're walking around the show, you see a lot of sold signs on equipment, and the dirty little secret is that they've known about these sales and they wait to these shows for their photo op, and they should. It's good for everybody. But you actually are selling equipment on the floor.
Oh yes, we were very excited. This was actually a great show for us. We had a lot of people come in that already know about us. We do a lot of advertising. We do a lot of speaking engagements to
Social media.
Social media. My social media guru.
I just help.
But social media is a big thing. It actually puts us in front, and it's made people aware of who we are, what we do, and how we can help you as a company up your dollars, make more profit, give you something to offer your customers, something that would up their profit. And that really is the bottom line. They come to you to make something so that they could sell their product and make money. You want to make money too. But this show, we had a lot of people walk in, and a lot of them walked in, and after speaking to us, they walked away, and then they called us and they said, we want that machine. Yes. I'm sorry, I'm a little excited because it was really great.
They're big machines. They do
Yes.
stuff. It's not like they're going to take it home in their suitcase.
I wish.
Eagle has a certification program as well. Why don't you talk a little bit about that education, because that's important to me, about how you're helping your customers, and then we'll wrap it up with how people can get in touch.
One of the most important thing is, again, how do you use this process to its best ability to make your customers happy? And the way we deal with it is we have a certification program. So we allow our customer to use our equipment for about 6 months. Then we come back in and we do a complete certification with everyone on the press anyone who runs the press, as well as the executive staff. It's an all-day event. It's classroom and then on press. We teach them how to get the right consistencies of adhesive, how to use the right adhesives with the foils, and by the time they're finished, they know how to key in the press with the foil, with the adhesive, to get the best possible product out of this. And it's a big deal. A lot of our customers who, to begin with, at the beginning of that, at the speaking that we do, they say, well, we really know how to cold foil, it's okay. But by the end of the certification, they go, wow, this was amazing. We really have upped our scales. So we're really proud of this. We're the only ones doing that, and we're really
Yes.
proud of it.
That's why I wanted you to talk about it,
Oh,
because I think it's really cool. So
okay.
how can people get in touch?
You can find us on the web at www.thefoilexperts.com. We have a very nice website with videos, with press releases of many of the companies we've done installations. We have blogs, we have photos. We're always available. We service our customers 24/7. We sell globally from Russia, Spain, Germany, Poland, Argentina, Guatemala, all over the U.S., Canada. We're available all the time.
Thank you so much for your support. You, Eagle has actually been in the alliance since prior to day one.
It's prior to
we
day
had
one.
We had a dry run at an alliance. we made an alliance at another trade show. We just literally made an alliance the year before I started the Printerverse. So you were really ground zero, so to speak.
Can I say something here?
If you
Okay.
must.
Deborah does something for this industry that I think is so important. Okay, so this is a trade show and everybody's walking around to see the equipment. She's bringing life back into what print is. She's making it exciting. She's making people look and learn, which is what this is all about. It's about learning what is available, having a conversation, interacting with the different booth people. This is important. She has made big statements, and because of her, a lot of things are happening in the industry, and I thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellen. I really appreciate your support. Mick? Oh, picture. Sorry. Sit.
Sit. Cool.
Thanks so much, Print IQ. Sandy, are we doing table tents today? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. I liked it better when everyone had their own. Yay! Oh, you have yours too. Yay. Mick. G'day.
G'day.
G'day. I almost got it right. Okay, so I have to say that everybody wants to know who the new studs we brought to the dance are. These new Australian buddies of ours. You've created quite a buzz here, and I think I'm not really sure why, other than you're making people think, and I think that's really important. I also think having a global perspective on things is important, which is why I'm so happy to welcome Australia to the Alliance. And Australia is actually a really big fan of Print Media Centre. They're one of the biggest organizers and celebrators of International Print Day through Stephanie Gadden. Yay, Stephanie, good day. Anyhow, just wanted to thank you for your support, and why don't you just tell everybody who you are, what you do, and I actually want your impressions of the talk tracks that you've heard from the vendors in this show as a quote-unquote foreigner.
Okay. So, Print IQ is a management workflow system, and it's there to help printers. It's there to automate their business. It's there to simplify their business. It's there to give them the data that they need to run their business. My background, much like the docket manager guys, was print. So I started up as a paste-up guy in the art room, combiner. I went through all the different areas. Every single job in printing I've done at some point. I've sold it, I've run production, I've been an estimator, I've been a debt collector in a print company. I've done it all.
Oh, that must have been a fun job.
That's the toughest gig there is.
Ooh. I've been on the receiving end of those phone calls where it's like, unless you have a credit card, we're not printing your stuff.
Yeah, I've done that. So So I've got a really good perspective of print from all sorts of areas. That enabled us to create a product that printers can relate to. The big difference between our stuff and printers say it as soon as they see our software, that you guys get it. That's the most common thing. When we talk, they know that we understand the industry. And the way the genesis of Print IQ was, I was R&D manager for a big print company, a $35 million print company in Australia, and I started scoping my perfect world. And so I started drawing up plans for my software, perfect world software. And then I tracked down a developer and started to develop applications myself, because I can write a little bit of code, but just enough to be dangerous. So I got some good developers, and we started to develop what ended up becoming Print IQ.
And now I'm not talking about the people on these panels, because I think we've all been having pretty great conversations with each other. But America seems to have an adaptation problem. I'm not really sure why that is, but I'd really like your perspective on that, please.
So our introduction to the US was actually, initially it was North America, because it was Canada. A customer in Toronto who couldn't find the solution that fit their business. So they started looking online, and they found one of our customers, saw our logo and contacted us. So we implemented in Toronto, was our very first North American customer. When we did that, he said, you guys have to come into this market. Now, we were doing really well in our market. In fact, in Australia and New Zealand, we dominate the market. But we saw a gap here. But we also found out really early that as much as people like us to say g'day, and they don't mind our manner, they want to deal with Americans. Americans want to deal with Americans. And I'm happy with that, because I like Americans. And I like coming here too. So our first thing was to find the right people. That's really hard from Australia, to get the right people when we don't know the industry. So you've got to search out and get some good people. Luckily, I had a really good friend who'd made the transition. You guys probably know Rowan Holt from Metrics. A lot of people know him.
The software people do.
Yeah, definitely. So Rowan and I were friends, and so he was someone that I often used to converse with about it. So he pointed me to some good people. Now we've got people on the ground. At the moment, we've got people on the West Coast and the East Coast. And, you know, the idea is to hire Americans. We want American staff.
And I always tell the people who have a U.S. presence that get a U.S. phone number.
Yeah.
No one's going to call another country or start trying to. I mean, for God's sakes, the time zone conversions. Or just when I have to speak to Europe and they send meeting invites in their own time, I'm like, we're stupid Americans. You can't do that. Everything has to be in our time, in our everything.
Totally.
So I just want to go back for 1 second, because I'd like to know, you said you saw gaps. I want to talk about those gaps, because that would kind of be why your solution should be looked at over others. So let's talk about that.
So from our perspective, what we were trying to do, and you touched on it before with Amazon, what we realised fairly early is that people are now understanding online shopping and that process. So what we said is, if we could take a printing MIS, put the workflow around it, but simplify it to the point that the average person could engage, then we're on a winner. So we have a shopping cart process. When we put our system in at a printer, they're automatically online. That's accessible to the public, who can follow a standard shopping cart process. And to the point that we can simplify a product, that when a customer quotes one, it could be as simple as, I want a high-end business card. They just click one button. Underneath that, that's going to pick the right board, the colour breakdown, the laminate, foiling perhaps, whatever it might be, simplified. And then it's just a payment, straight to a credit card gateway, pay, upload art straight in, and then it's going to kick off inside. But the beauty of that is, the customer's done it with easy access, but then what happens is, under the hood, the file is pre-flighted automatically, it's imposed, it's run straight to the digital front end if it's a DFE. But it's a simplified process, really good engagement with the customer. And the last part I'd add to it that was I saw as a gap is, we made Print IQ completely adaptable to the customer. So if we want to, if our printer has got a customer that's got a corporate brand, when they first present to that corporate brand, Print IQ will look like their brand, their fonts, their colour scheme. So when you pitch, you go out to Oracle, and it's an Oracle logo, and you've got their type of products. They're right there. It's gold.
I actually went to Oracle 2 weeks ago and taught them about the opportunities with digital printing, and they didn't know.
Yeah.
They didn't know a lot of stuff, and they do a lot of stuff, and that's why we were there to tell them. So that's great. Okay, how can people get in touch with you? Why should they sign up for your demos? Why should they take a chance on these Aussies who have just swept in on these white horses? Why do we need you, Mick?
So I think the way to contact it is the website, printiq.com. We're on social media. We've got offices and staff here. The thing that I would invite people to come and look at the software, because once they see it, they'll realise that this is a great product for them. They'll realise that it's done for printers, by printers, and people that, I mean, I've got ink in my veins. I'm a printer at heart. That resonates. So if you come and have a look, if you're the wrong fit for our software, I'm going to tell you straight away. I'm going to say, maybe this isn't for you. I'll point you to Docket Manager or Avanti or whoever it might be if there's a better fit elsewhere. But I think when you see our software, you'll understand why we're here.
So I thank you so much, and thank you for taking a chance on the Printerverse. I mean, that was a big chance from Australia, and coming here and doing Printerverse. So really appreciate your support.
Well, we really appreciate the chance to get on board. We got great recommendations for you. Pat McGrew recommended you. Theo Pataris,
Oh, Theo,
Theo
I
there.
love Theo.
Theo's a great customer of
love
ours.
him.
And so, yeah, no, I really appreciate the opportunity, and thanks very much for my
I just want to put you on the spot. Did you find value in this partnership?
Amazing. It's been incredible. Just from our talk the other day, I had those 5 people waiting for me. Of the audience, we had a full book that day. We had about 15 people come across and get demos just from here.
Just from
here.
15 people got demos just from a panel.
Just one panel.
Okay, I think we should just turn off the mics and go home right now after that. Thank you so much, Mick. I really appreciate everything.
My pleasure.
And yes, Johnny P., you're next. Yes, sit. Seriously, thank you so much.
It has been great.
Yeah, are you guys back at all? Or is this out of
I think Adrian's back.
Awesome.
Thanks, Deborah.
Hello.
John, hello, darling.
Show and tell today.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks so much. Now we have John Palo.
Johnny P. That'll work.
No, Johnny P. Palazzo.
Palazzolo.
Palazzolo. I always forget the Z. That's the problem. Sorry. I always forget the Z. I'll say Z because Mick is still here.
There you go.
Okay, Adfos. Still something people are going, Adfos? What in God's name? Is that an aspirin? Is that a migraine reliever? What is, let's start with, who are you? What is Adfos? And then we're going to get into a little bit different questions because we've seen you a few times. I want to
Okay.
take it a little further.
Great. Thanks, Deborah. Again, my name is John Palazzolo, or as my good friend Deb calls me, Johnny P.
Johnny P.
And I'm from Adfos North America. And what we do is we are an enabler to the inkjet, to the graphic arts industry, to let customers run their inkjet presses faster, to print on more difficult substrates, to get better product out of the back end. And and also inks, adhesives, and I've got some really interesting samples here to show today that are just not your typical graphic arts types of applications.
So, are you selling? Who are you looking for? Who you want to talk to? The manufacturers, the printers, who you want?
Yes, as a matter of fact, all of the above. We do have a lot of OEMs that are part of the Printerverse, HP, Konica Minolta, Memjet, golly, almost all of the people up there that are doing digital print, they are our customers, but also a lot of that was driven, directly from the printers, directly from the industry. We had commercial printers coming up to us and saying, hey, I've got this inkjet press, but man, I'm running on this high gloss stock and I've got to slow the thing way down. Can you help me get more productivity? So we actually will go in and retrofit different presses from different manufacturers with our drying technology to enable them to, again, run faster, do more applications. And then after they kind of see it, then all of a sudden the manufacturers go, hey, why don't we just put that stuff in our box? So that's exactly what happened with Screen. Screen now on their 520 HD now also has Adfos technology inside to enable more substrates and faster speeds.
I mean, I don't know if Screen can hear me, but that's one of the companies I really want to talk to. I don't know them, but they were the inkjet company to watch, and I certainly am looking to, well, maybe you can help me meet the Screen.
I can do that.
I really want them in the alliance next year on
Sure.
that inkjet conversation. So we've already talked about the fact everybody understands that ink on paper has to dry. What they might not understand is that inkjet ink is different, and I'm not a technical person, but from what I understand, there's more water in it. Is that
Yes, absolutely.
so? Why? So drying becomes a completely separate issue, right?
Exactly.
So why would you want to build something that needed special drying? Like, what is the advantage of the ink that it's worth, or the process that it's worth this extra drying? I'm going to say cost, because it's got to be an additional. If you want a better processor, you pay more for it. If you
Right.
want a better drying, I'm assuming you're going to have to pay a little more for it.
Right.
So let's talk about that. Why is that so critical?
So the big difference is obviously when digital printing really first got started, and I'm talking about inkjet printing specifically, and even more specific than that, water-based inkjet printing, which is the majority of the printing that's done out there today in the graphic arts market. The one thing is that, so your typical offset ink, okay, that's about 90% solids, about 10% liquids, waters, solvents.
We'll talk to the printers, because I don't understand a word you're
So,
saying.
okay, about 90%. On water-based inkjet, it is exactly flip-flopped. It's 90% water, 10%-ish pigments and other
See, makes a big
materials.
difference,
So
right?
there's a big difference. And when you manufacture paper, what is the primary component other than the wood to manufacture paper? Water. What happens when you put liters and liters of water on the paper? The paper starts to fall apart. It starts to deform. The
Pulpy things.
the pulp effects. You start getting cockle and curl and wave. So, literally you're dumping liters of water. You got to get that water off of that sheet as quickly as you can, and that's where we come in.
Okay, so can somebody seek out a press with your technology in it?
Yes, they can.
By name?
So HP now, we are an approved HP partner. So on their 240 presses, on the 200 series presses, they can purchase it directly from us and actually put it on their press. With Kodak, the Kodak presses have our technology on it. The Screen
So
presses
it's
have
in
our
it already?
It's in there. It's like we're not
It's like
Intel
Intel,
inside.
right.
It's Adfos inside.
But when they're talking to their salespeople, should they specifically say, do you have the Adfos drying technology in this press?
Absolutely, they
I mean,
should.
I'm assuming all of them don't. They must have some that don't have it in it. So
That's
how do
true.
they know the difference is what I'm asking.
Well, actually, you can tell that it's Adfos generally by the light. We use a very different wavelength of light. It's a very bright white light. So if you see all of a sudden this kind of bright white light compared to like in your oven, your toaster oven, kind of that orangish reddish light. If you see a bright white light, go towards the light, Deborah. Go
Thank you.
towards the light.
Thanks, Johnny. How can people, I know you brought samples, but they don't really come across on camera, but how can people get in touch, and then maybe you can mail them samples?
Sure,
Okay.
sure. I did want to talk about briefly, though, some of the different things that people are doing. Today, printed electronics, functional printing
Yes.
is a big, big thing. And I know it'll be very difficult to see, but if you can see that, those are printed circuits.
Yeah.
See, they're printed circuits.
Mandy, the camera woman, is very interested in printed electronics.
Printed circuits.
She learned about that from you, by the way.
So these printed circuits are actually printed with inkjet and dried and sintered and melted with Adfos technology.
Awesome.
So again, with this new era of functional printing and printed electronics, one of two things is going to happen. Either the printers who are printing today are going to get into the electronics business, or the electronics people are going to get into the printing business.
Just like the damn photo book people did, because the printers wouldn't take the orders. They were too small.
That's right. That's right. So how do you get a hold of AdFos? You can come see us at booth
They didn't want to do one photo book
Right, right.
when
2348.
they could have done 8 million one photo books.
Absolutely. So
Sorry, it's a knock your head on the wall.
and it's the same thing in print electronics and functional printing. So we're at AdFos booth 2348. You can see us in any of our partners, whether it be MGI, HP, Screen, any of those folks. Also MCS, DDS. So we're all over the show. Adfos.com or on Twitter at Adfos. So and we are global, so we're everywhere in the world.
They really are, and I want to thank you very much for your support, and I want to officially take you off of Printerverse probation because you have been on time for every panel. Did you have a question, Howard? No. Oh. You're officially off Printerverse probation. Good job.
This is not the first time I've been on probation, but thank you. It's good to
Okay.
be off.
Did you want to take a picture, Jack, and then we'll bring up Michael? Thank you so much, Jack. Thanks, John.
We'll see you at Drupal. Let's talk.
Okay, we'll see you, Drupa. Yes. Michael, yay!
I still have my ankle bracelet. I'm on
Oh,
probation
no.
with you, right?
Oh, that's good. No. We're very happy to have you guys represent Presswise. I want to tell you, I go to a lot of conferences. I talk a lot about software, and the honest truth is that when I say to the printers, what is the MIS system you're using, most of them say Presswise.
It's interesting. Remember yesterday?
Talk
Yeah.
to the microphone.
Remember yesterday we had a gentleman who was one of your print chat people?
Yes, that Jamie the printer.
I didn't even know he was a customer of ours.
Right. No, yeah, he's one of the people that loves your stuff. So why don't you tell people who you are, what you do, and why do you think that you're the first name I hear when it comes to this. Why do you think that is?
I think it's interesting. I guess our sweet spot
Tell
is
people who you are. What?
yes, I'm Michael Yan. I work for SmartSoft, and we have a product called Presswise, which is a print MIS system. And our customer base is, anywhere between 5 and 25 employees. So there's a lot
that makes
of
a
those.
lot of mistakes. I'm sorry, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So there's a lot of those. And then sometimes, we'll get somebody who really is excited about our software, but it may not do accounting, or it may not do certain things.
Talk to
So,
the mic.
so they'll go ahead, and it's not a fit for everybody. But, those are our qualifying questions, like, are you this big?
Right, but that's actually a really good point because yesterday, for the first time in the entire show, we had a a printer up here who actually had like 500 small inkjet runs is what they did. They did 500 runs of 25. They were the first printer that wasn't up there that did 2 million runs. I mean, so you're hitting that normal lane of reality out there, and that's good. So how are you helping the small businesses, or these are small businesses that you're helping? How are you helping them grow? Because that is a theme of the show, and it seems that you're starting with them young, and you can develop them. So how do you take them through, and what are the kind of additional technologies that you can offer as they go along?
Yeah, most of these people were commercial printers. They had an offset press. And then they went and bit, into the digital printing business. And then they started getting jobs that were only $25. And they're going like, how in the world can I make money on a $25 job? The idea is you can't touch it. You really have to automate it. And, because you've got to feed the beast, right? I mean, that's an expensive click charge every time. But that's really what we do, is we figure out a way for the storefront, whether it's their storefront, our storefront, but to pass it all the way through right to the press using JDF as automated as you can. That's really what we do.
Are you guys in it or developing technology for this app trend with the printers being able to monitor everything from mobile devices?
Yes, because we're finding more and more people are buying print by popping open their phone.
Right.
I got picture of you and me together.
Yes.
I want it on my wall. So yeah, it's all about just figuring out a way for the systems to talk.
Okay, so taking what I want to know is how is SmartSoft and your product Presswise, and you have many other products, by the way, but this is the one we're focusing on. Where are you going to meet your customers in the next 5 years?
Well, what's interesting, we're just in the U.S. and Canada, so really in the next 5 years, we need to get international. But let's face it, the issue with us today and the reason that people pick, and trying to automate it, there's all these little things that have nothing to do with print. Credit card authorization, shipping labels, address verification. That has nothing to do with print, but you got to have those processes and automation in place, or else it stops. It falls off the tracks.
So basically helping them get prepared are you a modular system? Can they add on as they have more needs?
Not really, because like if you want to be like Amazon or like Vistaprint or you want to be like Moo, you got to do all the things they do, or else people are going to go to them, right?
Right. Well, I've been a big proponent of one-stop print shop since we started. How can people get in touch with Presswise? Why should they sign up for your newsletter, go to your demos, your webinars, whatever you're doing? Why should they invest in their time in you and your company?
They just most of the time when we meet somebody, they're already in trouble. They're like, I can't figure out how to make money on a $25 job. That's really what comes into our booth. So if they wanted to get a hold of us, of course, they go to presswise.com. We have a booth here, but I'll tell you, presswise.com.
Thank you so much, Michael. And first-time Alliance member, really appreciate your time. We have a panel coming up in...
It's all fake news.
It's all fake news. We have a panel coming up in 10 minutes, and it is personifying the print experience, customizing for the masses. Michael, if you could just come back for a photo, please, Michael. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, my mom. Thank you, everybody who's here.